Hi, beloved. Thank you for having time to watch me. Thank you for always viewing my YouTube channel. Keep on subscribing. Keep on telling friends, family, and loved ones about this very channel. I believe that your life will never be the same again. I believe in your future, and I'm always proud of you, and I'm always happy when you are watching me. Very quickly, I want us to talk on a very important message that I have gathered experience on over the years. And you know, in this 21st century, we are in the business age or the entrepreneurship age. And I remember one time, one of the ministers of state, specifically finance minister in my country, Ghana, in Africa, made a statement that the public sector is full, so graduates should start doing their own business. And this thing became a big blow in the country. Meanwhile, the minister of state, which I'm not perhaps supporting, but then he was telling the truth. Okay, this was bitter truth. We have moved over the years in the world and we have reached the level of entrepreneurship. We have reached the business revolution. We have reached a level where people must start doing something on their own. And sometimes people have the perception, especially if you are in Africa, you may have the perception that, for instance, the unemployment rate is high in Africa. But when you move to the Western world, the unemployment rate is low. But this is a global challenge, a global problem, a global issue that every country on this earth is facing, unemployment problem. And that is why today in this video, I'm going to share with you how I started my two businesses and reasons why it collapsed as a young graduate. How I started my two businesses and the reason why it collapsed as a young graduate. Now, when I was in the university, specifically University of Cape Coast, somewhere in level 300, my senior brother's wife, is a matron in an SHS school. So she used to prepare shito for me, and I used to take it to school when I was in the university. So my hostel mates, sometimes when they need shito, they will come to me and I will serve them with that particular shito. So one day it happened that we were eating and my colleagues or hostel mate suggested that this very shito is very palatable. All the shitos on university campus, most of them said they've tasted it before, but this kind or particular shito is special and is unique. So they told me that why don't we use it as a business, or why don't I start it as a business, or why don't I sell it to other people to also enjoy this rich shito. And that is how come I started my first business in level 300 at University of Cape Coast. And that shito, I remember I branded it as AJ Shito. That is Akoto George Shito. So in the shorter term, it was AJ Shito. And I remember I used to move to hostel to hostels. I used to move from hall to hall. Even sometimes in church, I used to put some of the shito in my polythene bag to church, and they will announce it, and then people will be making inquiries. And I remember sometimes people will even come to my hostel to ask of the shito and buy it. Okay, so that was my first business. But unfortunately, this business couldn't hold for 1 year, and then it collapsed. And I'm going to share with you the experiences and the reason why it collapsed in this very video. Now, my second business was also something that was on my heart. And I thank God that the experience I gathered in my first business, that was the selling of shito on campus, it made my second business fruitful. But then I didn't also consider another level of knowledge in my second business. That also made my second business collapse. And we'll be talking about that one. Okay, in this course of video, we'll be learning all those stuff. Okay, so I started the first business while on campus, the shito business, which collapsed eventually 1 year. And then I started my second business after school. Okay, immediately after national service, which also collapsed 1.5 years. Okay, my second business was a vacation classes school. It wasn't just a vacation classes, but it was a vacation classes school. It was well branded, it was very unique, and people were coming in their numbers. Within 1 month, I had over 100 students. They were moving from all over, traveling from far distances to attend these very classes. And after 1.5 years specifically, it also collapsed. So what made it collapse? My first business collapsed after 1 year. My second business was successful more than the first business, and it also collapsed after 1.5 years. So what made these businesses collapse? And that's why I'm very important that you have joined me. You have joined me today, and we are discussing this very issue because it's very important. Think entrepreneur, think business as a young graduate, and you will go far. So when I started the shito business, I failed to consider the environment. Now, in every business, whenever you are about to start a business, you have to look at the environmental factors. You have to look at the environment. It's very important. Okay? Every environment is dependent on the kind of business you should do there or the kind of product you should sell. Many people start business, especially young folks, and they don't consider the environment or environmental factors. So since my friends were happily enjoying my shito that was prepared by my big wife, and they suggested to me that I can be making money out of it, I just started boom like that. I didn't consider the environment. I didn't see that the environment is a universal environment, and for that matter, it's a university. And in the university, everybody is having access to uncountable things. People prepare stew themselves, people prepare food themselves, and they had a lot of stores that were also selling shito. So even though my shito would have been rich, the next time somebody needs shito, the person may move to a nearby shop that is selling shito. So the environment didn't qualify me to sell shito. I could have done any other business than selling shito. But then if assuming I was in senior high school and I was selling shito, I would be making more money than I made in the university. The shito business would have been sustainable as it collapsed 1 year in the university, because in the senior high school there are no abundance of shops that may even be selling shito. Even in some senior high school there are no shops at all. In the senior high school they prepare meals for them, and students are to eat that meals compulsory. So if for instance someone goes to the dining hall and the person does not like the food, the person will come back to buy my shito because the person will need to do gari. In the senior high school, there is something we call the brokey stage. Okay, where people are broke and people need something to eat and they are not getting. So in that case, if you are selling shito, you will be making money. But in the university, it wasn't like that. So I didn't consider the environment. So young folks who want to do business, yes, it's very good, do business. But you have to also consider the environment that you are in and know the kind of business to do, what to sell, and how to sell it. Alright, so I failed to consider the environment. I also failed to do business based on my passion. Alright, so I thought that since my friends love the shito, when I sell the shito, it will sell. But it wasn't so. Whenever you do business based on your passion, whenever you sell a product based on your passion, you try to make it and make more money and sustain the business more than selling a product that is not based on your passion, but you are selling or doing the business because of money. Okay, so if you follow this very channel, we'll be talking more on business, we'll be talking more on a lot of things, and you understand what I'm talking about. So I didn't do that business based on my passion. In fact, I wasn't a seller. I was a motivational speaker, I was a preacher, I was a talkative. So I should have been doing business based on my passion. I was a writer, I was an author. So I should have been doing business based on my passion. So the shito business didn't hold for 1 year. It couldn't sell. And even at a point in time, I had to run at a loss. Some of the shito had to get spoiled for me to throw them away because it wasn't based on my passion. But then when I wrote a book in the university called Discovery of Purpose, the book was able to sell because it was based on my passion. So young folks want to do business based on your passion. I've always reiterated it on this channel. I was having too much confidence. Now, business is not based on confidence, but it's based on consultation, right? So I thought that since I know how to talk, since I'm a motivational speaker, since I'm a public speaker, since I can talk in public, so therefore I can market the shito business very well. But I forgot that it was too much confidence. Don't forget, too much of everything is bad. You need to have confidence. You need to build confidence, but don't have too much of it. It may end you in the pit. So instead of me to make consultations, instead of me to observe the environment, instead of me to think through that business, I just started boom, because I thought I can speak in public, so I can sell. So too much confidence also made my shito business failed. Now, as I said earlier on, I failed to do consultation. I should have done consultations, at least move to a hostel or a hall and then ask them what is their pressing needs. But I didn't do any consultation. I just started boom, selling the shito, and all of a sudden after 1 year it collapsed. Now I failed to consider the target group. I failed to consider the target group. Okay, I believe I've already said that one, because I didn't look at the group of people I was dealing with. I was dealing with tertiary students. I wasn't dealing with JHS or SHS students. I was dealing with university students, both graduate and then postgraduate, with all sorts of people living in that environment. So I should have also studied the target group, that this target group does not like shito. Perhaps maybe this target group likes steel or something. Okay, so if I considered the target group I was dealing with, I would have been able to sustain my business. My business would have done very well. Okay, so I didn't look at the target group. So if you are doing business, my colleagues, my friend, my beloved, my sister, my brother, my younger folks, you need to consider the target group you want to deal with and know how you move with them and push your business through. Now, my vacation classes school did very well after my national service, because I had built an experience with the shito business. That's why I keep telling every student that while you are on campus, try a business or try something new with your skill. Try something new with your ability. Try to do something and you will gather experience with it. Now, my vacation classes school was called Best Brain. We'll talk more on that, of how I started. After my national service, I didn't have hope of where to get employment. So I decided to start a vacation classes school. And if it had moved on very well after handing over to a different level of management. It would have become the one of the biggest remedial school in my society, specifically Achim Tafo in the eastern region where I used to live during my national service time. So what happened was that the idea popped up. I talked to a friend who was also a teacher in a senior high school. So we made strategy and plans. So this time round, we studied the environment. We knew at that time in my country Ghana, it was a tracking system. So some students will go for 2 months, they will vacate, and other students will go for 2 months, and they also vacate and come and stay for some time. So the environment was good. It was based on my passion because as at that time I was teaching. Okay, I didn't build too much confidence because people wanted to take advantage of the system. So there were a lot of classes going on all around. So this time around, it's not because I have confidence, but I have to put in strategy. I have to do more consultation. I have to brand myself very well. I have to know what to tell people for them to know that my vacation classes is the best among the several people that are running the same program. I did my consultation very well, and I had to engage best teachers from public senior high schools. Even some were HODs, and they were doing very well. I considered my target group, and I knew the people that had to teach them. I located a very good location, and it worked. So you see, if you follow my teaching, you realize that for this very business, I have learned a lesson from my shito business. So within 1 month, we had more than 100 students. It was doing very well, and we were not running it like a vacation classes. We were running it like a school with forms. We did write exams. We mark the exams. We do report. We call your parents. We give them your report. We were running it like that is our all, and it was doing very well. Within 2 months, I had more than 150 students, and it happened in both tracks. So my students were plenty, and I can say the glory of God. Some of my students have grown up, some are in the tertiary, and they are doing very well in life because we were not just teaching them, we were also teaching them a lot of things about life, and they were able to make it. And many parents brought a lot of testimonies that since their children started enrolling in my vacation classes school called Best Brain School, that was located in Achimtafu in Eastern Region, specifically Ghana, my country where I was living, they had changed and things are moving on well in their life. So people were coming from all walks of life, far away from my town. People were traveling from distances, and some parents were even advising that we get a hostel, but then we're doing it gradually. Now, what made that very business collapse? That one, I didn't prepare for it. Now, after I had employment in local government service, I handed over, and within some few months, the business collapsed. Now, there are a lot of businesses in Africa that collapsed after the person who started has died or has left the scene. The business are unable to continue. Okay, so this vacation classes, that was a hit, and it was big in town, it was big in Eastern Region, collapsed because I was too flexible on some of my staff. I was too flexible on them. I had almost 15 staff that was under me that I was paying, but I became flexible with them because I thought I didn't have to be harsh on them. I was young and I started a business and it's doing very well. People are calling in, people are coming in, and even remedial students were coming in. So I felt like, no, let me be flexible on them because they were all older than me and I was their director. So sometimes when you start a business as a young guy, being flexible on your staff can also make the business collapse. Now, I also manage the vacation school around my angle. It was also another serious challenge. I didn't look at it very well. Okay, so I realized that after I left the scene and I handed over to a new manager or a new director or a new group of people to manage the school with the same teachers. Don't get it wrong, with the same teachers, but just that now I have gained public recruitment as a local government service staff in my country. So I've moved out of that town. I have handed over the school to a different person to manage the school with the same teachers, with the same students. But immediately the news broke out that I am no more handling the school. I am no more the head of that school. I am no more the director or the manager of that school. Some students automatically decided not to come to that school again. They decided not to attend the vacation school again. Some parents decided to take their worth from that school. And I realized that I have built management of the school around my angle. I have built it around my own influence. So when I left, it couldn't continue. There are a lot of institutions or companies or private businesses that the manager has built it around him. And so when the manager leaves, the business collapses. So it is also another weaknesses or gap that didn't help my vacation school to grow. After 1 year, when I left, almost 6 months, it collapsed. So I believe that these are some of the lessons we need to learn as young graduates that are coming out and want to start our own business. We have to learn lessons from my story in order for you to do better than I did. And I believe that your life will never be the same again. I keep telling people that young graduates think entrepreneurship. Young graduates think entrepreneurship. It is very important because you don't know tomorrow and you don't know the future. Thank you for watching. Keep subscribing. Keep sharing this video to friends. Like it and comment on it. See you for the next video. Bye bye.